I don't know if you've been keeping up with shark news this year, but there have been kind of too many shark attacks.
On Friday afternoon, 45-year-old Elizabeth Foley was swimming near a sandbar when she was bitten by a shark, losing part of her left arm. Then, just 90 minutes later, about 4 miles away, police responded to a call about a second attack, this time on 2 teenage girls. One of the teens was critically injured with wounds to her hand and leg. This video shows bystanders jumping in to help rescue her.
Well-known surfer, lifeguard, and actor has died in a shark attack on the island of Oahu. Tamayo Perry was on a break from his job as a lifeguard. He went for a quick surf on Oahu's North Shore yesterday, paddling out to what is known as Goat Island, and that's when he was bit multiple times by a shark. Another surfer brought him to the island. Perry's fellow lifeguards then brought his body to shore on a jet ski. He was pronounced dead there.
Jose Abreu was spearfishing with his children and friends when he says a bull shark bit him in his shoulder, chest, and right leg, all in less than 20 seconds.
My kids say, hey, daddy, no die.
Which is bad news for us because we're going to Cape Cod later this summer, and Cape Cod has been seeing an increasing number of shark attacks and an increased population of great whites. I had always thought of Australia as a land of shark attacks, but no, the US sees way more shark attacks than Australia every year, and Florida is the shark attack capital of the world. I'm here in New Smyrna Beach in Florida, which has one of the highest rates of shark attacks in the United States. Despite this fact, thousands of beachgoers flock here every year, perhaps comforted by the statistic that they're more likely to be struck by lightning or crushed by a vending machine. But I wonder if they're more likely to be crushed by a vending machine if they're swimming in the ocean. Of the short list of things Donald Trump and I have in common, preoccupation with shark attacks has gotta be at the top of the list. Roll the tape.
I'm sitting down and that boat's going down and I'm on top of a battery. And the water starts flooding in. I'm getting concerned. But then I look 10 yards to my left and there's a shark over there. So I have a choice of electrocution or shark. You know what I'm going to take? Electrocution. I will take electrocution every single time. I'm not a big fan of sharks either. I don't know how many votes am I going to lose. I have people calling me up, sir, we have a fund to save the shark. It's called Save the Shark. I say, no, thank you. I have other things I can contribute to. I mean, what's better? Being with you right now. Look at that beautiful lake. Beautiful, right? What's better, this or sitting on the Pacific or the Atlantic, which has sharks? You don't have sharks.
I also found an interview that Stormy Daniels did with In Touch magazine in 2011, where she says this about a date she had with Donald Trump. He was watching Shark Week, and he was watching I'm just doing a generic hot lady voice.
Yes.
Because I don't know what she sounds like. He was watching Shark Week, and he was watching a special about the USS something, and it sank, and it was like the worst shark attack in history. He is obsessed with sharks, terrified of sharks. He was like, I donate to all these charities, and I would never donate to any charity that helps sharks. I hope all the sharks die.
He made me sit and watch an entire documentary about shark attacks.
It wasn't, at that point, a business meeting. It was just watching Shark Week.
Yeah.
And listen, Donald, I get it. I was watching Shark Week recently, and someone described the sensation of being attacked by a shark as being similar to being hit by a truck full of machetes. I don't care for that one bit.
A truck made of machetes, I think he
A
said.
truck made of machetes. Should not be an effective truck. Sharks have been making a comeback since 2007, thanks in part to environmental conservation laws. Experts cited in articles about shark attacks love to talk about how unlikely it is that you'll ever be attacked by a shark. You are more likely to die getting hit by lightning on a golf course, or choking to death on an overcooked hamburger, or getting shot in Pennsylvania. There's a statistic that I think makes a lot more sense to highlight, and that is riptides. On average, about 100 people die every year in the US drowning in riptides, whereas there's about one fatal shark attack every other year. There are a lot more shark attacks that result in some pretty horrific injuries. Like there's often a lost arm or leg in a shark attack. So just because they're not dying doesn't mean these aren't like horrific, life-altering injuries. According to research from the Florida Museum's International Shark Attack File, we're also seeing an increase in shark attacks simply because they're an increased number of beachgoers. And it's just a numbers game with increasing shark populations and increasing swimming at the beach populations. There's gonna be a little unpleasantness here and there. And it seems to me that the only real answer that makes sense is to stay out of the water. We're gonna get into how shark influencers like to say this is how to handle encountering a shark.
If you're ever approached by a large shark, you want to look at it, face it, and be ready to gently redirect by placing your hand on top of the head and locking out the elbow. However, 99% of the time, sharks are going to turn off, but it's still good to be ready to leverage, give yourself some space.
I don't want to hear any tips and tricks. I think you just avoid it altogether. I'm mostly talking about Ocean Ramsey in this video, but I've seen similar content from creators Mermaid Kaylee and Adriana Marine. I've recently been sucked in by Ocean Ramsey's Instagram reels where she shows off her redirection technique. She's a freediver and a model who's known for getting incredibly close to tiger sharks. Who are the second most implicated sharks in unprovoked shark attacks? Great white sharks lead those numbers by quite a wide margin. Shark diving enthusiasts like Ocean Ramsey point out that shark diving can make sharks profitable without killing them for their fins. According to the Shark Research Institute, 100 million sharks are killed every year for their fins, which is then used to make shark fin soup. Shark fin soup is a status symbol in China and is typically served. China. I should have Donald Trump saying it. Interestingly, with both of my pregnancies, my doctor has said, okay, you're pregnant, so don't eat deli meat or shark. Those are the two he always mentioned. Because shark is really high in mercury because it's a big fish that eats smaller fish, and that's how you get a lot of mercury because you're digesting all those other little fish. I'm 5 months pregnant, which I assume would make me extra delicious to a shark, like a cream cheese stuffed jalapeno popper from TGI Fridays. And he always says it like in a really, like, don't eat shark. Like he thinks
stay
that
away
this
from
is...
that shark. Sorry. I know you're eating a lot of shark.
Like, I know you love sharks. Ocean Ramsey leads shark diving tours in Hawaii. I read some TripAdvisor reviews of her tours, and to be fair, they were overwhelmingly positive. People use words like transformative and relaxing to describe their experiences swimming with sharks. So, you know, she knows what she's doing. I didn't see this as much in the TripAdvisor reviews, but there seems to be a bro-y kind of machismo appeal of getting super close to a shark.
This female freediver shark expert shows on BBC video her swimming with no scuba with the biggest great white shark anyone's ever seen. I think they call it Big Blue. And so all these guys, like all this testosterone of like, oh, I cage exited and I got this close and that close. And here comes this lady and she just demolishes the scene. Like no one has done what she's done. This shark is so big.
I reached out to Ocean Ramsey's shark diving company to pose the question, with enough of these tiger shark diving tours, isn't a bite inevitable? Like with enough of these, aren't you bound to meet the wrong shark who's a little too hungry and a little too grumpy and somebody gets chomped? It just seems like, again, it's a numbers game. Like how could that not happen eventually? Ocean Ramsey just got back to me. Ocean Ramsey got back to me with a very thoughtful email. I asked her specifically about whether she thought her videos could make people feel overconfident with a shark encounter. Like if they watch a couple videos of her redirecting a tiger shark, are they just going to feel like, I've got this, and, you know, jump into the surf? And she responded, Sometimes you'll see that when our videos show a redirection technique, we will put in the caption, information for emergency purposes only, but we often run out of space to write more in the caption, and for the most part, I no longer write what should be common sense on every post. I don't think most people are going to watch a video of how to redirect a large tiger shark and go jump in to try it. There's gonna be one. There's gonna be one. I was most surprised to her answer to my question about her fear surrounding a potential shark attack. I asked her, with enough encounters with tiger sharks, isn't an unprovoked attack inevitable? And she responded, I guess Juan Sharks and I are your proof. 25 plus years of swimming with sharks, and we are still going. Most people can have an off day, but an off day for me could be lethal. I still feel safer in the water with them than I do driving around moody, easily distracted humans. I've been in 4 car accidents because other people were not paying attention and a person close to me was killed in one. I'll probably die in a car accident, but if I die because I stayed in the water to learn more about shark behavior and human interactions, that was my choice, and here it is again on record. That was my choice, and it shouldn't reflect badly on the sharks. I guess that was surprising to me because I thought, isn't she kind of blasé about the danger of what she's doing? But she's not blasé at all. She's just simply accepting, like, yeah, I could get eaten. Yeah, this is the life I've chosen. A life of potential, ending up in a shark's tummy. She very nicely offered me the chance to go shark diving with her if I'm ever in Oahu. After making this video, I am never going into the ocean again, and I will remain respectfully on the beach with the rest of the wimp community, saluting her and the sharks from the sand. Marine biologist Christian Parton and host of the channel Shark Bites says Ocean Ramsey is doing more harm than good by attracting people to dive sites where sharks are known to congregate.
So Ramsey made headline news a few years ago in Hawaii where she was pictured and filmed swimming next to and touching a very large great white shark. The white shark had been feeding on a floating whale carcass in the area and had essentially eaten itself into a food coma. And realistically, it's likely because of this the shark showed zero interest in Ocean or any of the other people in the water. The pictures make it look amazing. It looks like Ocean is just alone swimming with the shark, but the video of the encounter is a different story. So you've got Ocean diving down, actively touching that shark there, which she claims was to maintain distance from it or to redirect the shark away from boat propellers somehow. And then you've got a shit ton of people surrounding the shark from all sides, splashing around in the water. It's an absolute mess. So she posted all of these clips, and of course, as you would expect, it went insanely viral. But in the immediate aftermath of these videos going viral, you had some pretty bad short-term effects. The following day, after all those Ocean Ramsey clips went viral, dozens of boats visited that whale carcass, which forced the Hawaii authorities to release a statement telling people to not get in the water because, of course, it would be extremely dangerous to get into the water around a whale carcass where a white shark has been spotted. And it wasn't only dangerous for the people, it had a negative impact on the sharks as well, because that following day, all those boats and all those people in the water scared the bloody sharks away. I think it frustrates me when I see Ramsey doing these things and then saying it's all about saving the sharks, because you don't need to get videos or pictures of you riding sharks to raise awareness about their conservation. Raising awareness doesn't equate to solving the problem, by the way. Let's be clear on that one as well.
Ocean Ramsey says that the point of her shark diving expeditions is to get people more interested in conservation. We want people who may have only come for a photo to leave with a deeper respect, a better understanding and awareness, and an inspiration to get involved in conservation. Whether shark diving drives more money and attention to shark conservation, I think remains to be seen. The research just doesn't exist yet, whether or not shark diving is doing more for sharks in terms of making people more interested in conservation, or whether it's disruptive to their habitat and overall a negative to their little sharky lifestyles. Shark Week is more shark infotainment media that seems to want to have it both ways. They definitely put a conservationist spin on a lot of their programming, but they also focus a lot on how freaking scary would it be to be attacked by a shark. So scary! We watched a Shark Week program recently called Belly of the Beast Feeding Frenzy. The purported scientific purpose behind this mission is they're positing that shark pods are made up of a cluster of males that follow around a dominant female who's much larger than the males. The majority of the episode is not examining shark social dynamics. It's focused on creating scenarios where big, scary sharks chomp their big, bloody tufums into whale blubber. While a horror movie blasts in the background, because that's what we're there to see. Discovery Channel knows where their blubber is buttered. Without their deadly reputation, they would just be boring fat fish. Nobody describes their experience swimming with carp as transformative. Scientists can point out the unlikelihood of shark attacks all they want. The most vocal and visible shark media that we see is always going to play in to the sexy deadliness of sharks. And maybe if the shark diver's hypothesis is correct and we don't want them to all end up as soup, the terror element has to remain, because that's what's drawing us into the shark tours and to watching Shark Week year after year. And I think that instinctively we know on some level that we are to blame for shark attacks. I was out to dinner recently with some gal pals, and someone mentioned that they knew of someone who had been fatally attacked by a shark. And immediately someone else said, "What were they wearing?" Were they asking for it? Did they look like a seal? And I feel like that question is always bubbling in the background whenever people talk about shark attack. Like, what were they doing that made the shark want to eat them? And I think that that instinct is correct. Like, we're in the shark's dinner zone.
They hardly ever eat the whole person.
That's all I have on sharks. Thanks so much for diving in with me into the murky waters of my shark anxiety. Subscribe if you haven't already, and if you want to hit the notification bell, that'll let you know when we upload. We don't have a regular schedule because we are parents. Thank you so much for watching, and hope to see you all soon. Bye-bye. Cut.
Okay, all right.
Right there, wow. Holy crap.